A brewing war on the Trump campaign could easily upend his re-election victory. All that and more now on Graf's Grievances. In just over a week, CNN will host the 5th Republican presidential primary debate in Des Moines, Iowa. And thanks to an increased polling threshold, only 2 candidates are likely to qualify. With former President Donald Trump continuing his boycott, this will be the first time we see former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis face off one-on-one. The 2 Trump alternatives have proven themselves to be extraordinarily reluctant to criticize the former president, despite running against him for the Republican nomination and Trump beating them in first place, according to the polls. But finally, we have actual reporting helping explain why at least one of them has chosen to treat Trump with kid gloves. Nikki Haley, it turns out, is not running for the Republican presidential nomination. She's not even running for president. No, Haley is running to be Trump's vice president. And according to new reporting from CBS News, Trump is apparently very open to the idea. The former president reportedly asking his allies and advisors for their thoughts about Haley serving as his number 2. Haley, of course, is no stranger to Trump world, having served as his ambassador to the United Nations before departing the Trump administration in 2018. And unlike virtually every other cabinet secretary to leave the Trump administration, there were 14 in total, Haley resigned on good terms. Take a listen.
Nikki Haley, ambassador to the United Nations, has been very special to me. She's done an incredible job. She's a fantastic person, very importantly, but she also is somebody that gets it.
And since launching her presidential campaign almost exactly 1 year ago, Haley has gone to great lengths to avoid saying anything too critical of her former boss. And when she does criticize Trump, according to Trump himself, quote, she uncriticizes me about 15 minutes later. So these 2 clearly have a buddy-buddy relationship, but some of Trump's most high-profile and influential supporters despise Haley, the child of Indian immigrants.
Would you vote for Trump if he chose Nikki as VP? And
would you guys vote for Trump? Well, that's the question that I asked you specifically.
Well, I would not only not vote for that ticket, I would advocate against it as strongly as I could.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's just poison. I mean, here's someone who's actively opposed to the interests of the country I grew up in, who endorsed the BLM riots, and who is not only is not left, but is neoliberal in the darkest, most, speaking of nihilistic way, and has no real popular support. Is a creature of the oligarchs. So yeah, that would be reason to oppose the ticket.
That was former Fox host Tucker Carlson saying just last month he would fight Trump's re-election efforts if Trump chose Haley as his running mate. But it's not just Tucker who hates Haley as VP.
One of the fights we're going to have, a big fight, will take place in the spring, will be they're going to try to force Nikki on the ticket. They say Trump needs a woman, Nikki on the ticket, she balances things, and she can bring together that 15% of never-Trumpers in the Republican Party. We're going to have that fight. If Nikki Haley is in this administration in any capacity, it will fail. Well, she's a viper. She's a viper, and once she gets in there, she'll try to run it as prime minister. She'll try to be Dick Cheney. Her to Trump will be just like Dick Cheney to Bush.
That was Steve Bannon just yesterday, warning Trump that a war will break out amongst his own supporters if Trump chooses Haley to be VP. And of course, not to be outdone is, you guessed it, Don Jr.
I would go to great lengths to make sure that that doesn't happen. Nikki Haley wants never-ending wars. She's a puppet of the establishment in Washington, D.C. She's the new favored candidate of the billionaire class because they want control.
So what to make of this brewing war over Haley, and will it actually come to pass? For all of his faults and criminality, Donald Trump is a branding genius. I stand by that. He knows that putting Haley, an Indian American woman, on his ticket would be a good move to help negate concerns about his long history of racism, misogyny, and instability. In addition, Haley, at 51, would bring a fresh face to the Republican ticket and present a formidable debate challenger to Vice President Kamala Harris. Irrespective of how you feel about America's first African American and first Asian American VP, debating and media interviews are simply not her best skills. Conversely, Haley has proven to be a very adept debater over the past few months, gracefully defeating the likes of Ron DeSantis, former Governor Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Senator Tim Scott, and even former Vice President Mike Pence. But if choosing Haley as his VP really fractures Trump's robust coalition, as Tucker, Bannon, and Jr. are now warning, maybe it's not worth the risk. That being said, I think there is way more upside to Trump choosing Haley as his number 2. She will make independent and moderate voters, along with Trump-skeptical Republicans, give his ticket a second look. Sure, the MAGA zealots will be upset for a week and protest, but they will quickly fall in line behind their dear leader, Donald Trump, who can, in their mind, do no wrong. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share. It really helps me grow this channel. And join me tomorrow for more.